The grade cricketer is a Twitter stream. It's about playing cricket at the grade level.
Boys! Get a few today, did you?
To be honest with you, I hate grade cricket.
I went into to play for a team called the name escaped me.
Obviously, sharing's always a big issue for young kids coming into a senior cricket team.
I think it was like a with sleeve.
A bit of advice to the player. That's what I want.
I refer to the great cricketer here and I'll say, this will do a little bit early.
All right, let's just cut straight to it. He's in. Stokes is in. Steve Smith is on the show as well. And he'll say things like, you know what, we just want to play against the best players. No, you don't. No one wants the opposition's best player to play. No one wants that. You want the worst possible opposition and to score runs against them at all times. This episode is brought to you by Budgie Smuggler. Use the code CHAMP for free custom design. BudgieSmuggler.com. The World Cup's on all that and all that jazz. But let's get into it, Pez. Ben Stokes is in. This is one of the first times ever that we've been able to do a show where news has broken before we just go to air. So there's that. Now, Bill F. wrote in on Patreon. He was quick onto this one. He said, hey, fellas, Stokes being added to the Ashes squad has me thinking in the 2019 Ashes, would you rather have been an English or Australian fan? I'm Australian, but I think the Headingley victory would have brought more joy to English fans than retaining the Ashes did to Australian fans. Thoughts?
Hi, Higgins. Good morning.
G'day, mate.
Everything. Love to say that it was by design that we're recording in time for the Stokes news.
Yeah.
But it wasn't.
That's what you want to say.
But it wasn't. Bill F., it's an interesting question because, as we know, Australia held the urn aloft away from home, which is rare.
Yeah.
So my initial reaction for this
Yep.
was for the second demon head to pop out of my neck.
Mm-hmm.
Hurling abuse at the premise, thinking only an England person or a virgin could ask this question.
Which is it, Bill?
But I'm not my thoughts, and I can reach a higher plane
That's deep.
than that. But I'm just recording that for posterity.
I'm reaching out to a higher ground. Desiree.
Recording that for posterity, not prosperity. I think the English, he goes, are like more inclined to enjoy each test in and of itself.
As an event?
Outside of the context of the series. And I've been thinking about this a little bit.
Yeah.
It's either because they are more culturally enlightened or because they lose a lot of series.
If they actually get to complete some series, because some of them just stop midway through.
You have to do that the following year.
Yeah. We're winning. Stop series.
This might be the Australian in me, he goes, but like...
Might be.
I think that question or that phenomenon of English people just enjoying cricket more says everything about the relative standards of both nations. Like if England consider themselves happier than Australia with the last Ashes series, in which they drew the series at home and failed to regain the urn. Like I'm sorry to continually talk about effigies.
Yeah.
But if that very scenario happened here in reverse, there'd be bushfires because of the effigies.
That's right. There would be.
But there's a deeper truth to it. English people know how to enjoy cricket better than Aussies. Over here, certain bars were set 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Standards.
Yeah.
And we will never clear them again.
So, go on.
Steve Waugh's mantra was literally never satisfied.
Yeah. He was never satiated.
We weren't happy then, despite winning everything, all and sundry. And we'll never be happy now. So we chase and chase, seeking the win, seeking win after win, but we feel nothing. We look for happiness in the wrong places. Happiness isn't Smith making 900 runs at 110. Happiness is bowling dobblers at age 56 under the shade of an oak tree over ground nestled in the West Country. Nah.
Sounds fucking lame to me.
Sounds like some limp-wristed shit to me. Happiness is Smith.
Johnson, moustaches, facial hair.
Round the wicket
tats.
bounces.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. So the equivalent would be if the 20, England won in 2011, right? Out here. So what's the equivalent? Okay, the equivalent would be like this series coming up. It finishes 2-2, but like in Adelaide, an
amazing win.
Cameron Green scores 140 batting with Hazelwood at the end there.
Yeah.
And they win the game, and it's just like it's one of the greatest victories of all time.
Yeah.
But we draw the series. I think we'd forget that fictional Adelaide Test match so quickly.
100%. 100%.
We'd forget it so quickly.
Yeah. I've always been, and this is going to be controversial, because not everyone in Australia feels like this. I've always felt that way about Peter Siddle's hat-trick. So that was in 2010.
Yeah.
Is that the example? Possibly. Because they drew that game, okay, and he brought them back into it. They were
Yeah,
fucking
it was on his
bossing us.
birthday. You've got to factor that in.
We got absolutely fucked by England in
Yeah,
that
we got
series.
fucked.
And there's still a sect of people, and it's able to be enjoyed. And Peter Siddle, one of the
Yeah.
most ripping blokes of all time, and he has
Yes.
taken a hat-trick.
Yes.
But given they've not gone on to win anything from it, I do think it detracts. And then people will say, yeah, what about the 100 and the losing side stuff? That's a different phenomenon altogether.
Was that in the... but that was at the Gabba, so it was first game of the... Was it
Yes,
the first day of
it
the...
was the first day of the series. It was in the
series.
afternoon.
And then
And
so
so-
much happened after that
Yeah.
that like we sort of
Yeah.
had all this other trauma like built up over... Whereas if it was the... Whatever this... Like if that was the Perth test match, I think that was the second... No, maybe that was the third test match in that series. As the order should always be that way. Yeah, I don't know.
I find the question strange, to be honest. That idea is it. Did they enjoy the last series more than us? But Australia got the urn.
Yeah.
But maybe there's a deeper truth. That's the thing.
What sport? Okay. Anyway, Ben Stokes is playing. In his article for the Mirror, he said that he had some dark place having difficult thoughts. If I can read a quote from his article, he said, "I know I can focus again on playing my best cricket down under this winter. I probably didn't realise just how much of an issue the finger was causing me until I got it sorted the second time round. I was always one of those people who wouldn't talk about how they're feeling and just keep it internal and crack on. I now realise talking is such a powerful thing and has completely changed me. First of all, that's like it's awesome that he's coming, and it's awesome that he is well again and well enough to play mentally and physically. That's an obvious but important thing to say at the top. He also tweeted that I think he tweeted it was very simple. Is like, I'm ready for Australia. First of all, fucking no one's ready for Australia, okay? There's snakes, there's spiders, it's hot, there's bushfires, it's windy sometimes. No, is anyone ready? I'm not ready for it. I'm 35. I'm not ready for Australia yet. Fucking, I get burnt when it's 23 degrees.
There's plenty of expats in England who are ready for Australia, but they're not let home.
Yeah. Man, it must be nice.
I think it's, of course, what you say is right up the top. It's great that Stokes is feeling good.
Yeah, it's good.
It's great that he's out here. He'd add some fire to the series.
It's good we had to see him as well, because there was
shit.
that risk that we were going to miss like
Well,
one of the best players
Exactly.
in a generation.
He's going to come in hot. So with all that
Yeah.
said,
Yeah, let's get that out of the way.
I mean, a couple of weeks ago, we have Graham Swan on the show. Well-received interview.
I remember that.
Largely. And he was adamant he's not coming.
Yeah, he was talking about his finger, wasn't he?
Yeah, he can't wrap his finger around the bat.
Yeah.
You know? Ali Martin on the show. Week after that, look at the information. He's not coming. And you got to remember, it was UK journos a few weeks ago, he goes, even like off-air to us, multiples of them saying, it's not looking good with Stokes, I can tell you that. Well, a couple of months ago, it's really not looking good.
months ago, yeah.
It's a real shame. And everyone, it was one of those like sort of scoopy things. Like, look, I can just let you know, like it's not really looking good with Stokes. I'm not saying they knew that this was happening all along, but
Part of the game.
I'm not saying that. But
Okay.
I thought Swan was very kind of vociferous about it. Like he hosed that bad boy down straight away. He can't wrap his finger around the bat.
He hadn't spoken to anyone in about 3 weeks, I
That's
think.
true.
So he had some things he wanted to get off his chest.
It's true. And then
Yep.
I'm waking this morning to headlines like Australia fears Stokes and now England have a chance in the Ashes.
Fucking cool, you
And then
Jets.
there's another one, and this is from Tanya Aldred, and she's a very good journalist in The Guardian. But I just want to read where the hyperbole is at the moment. The addition of Ben Stokes to England's Ashes squad will lift Joe Root's men and cause even the most confident of Australians to endure a few sleepless nights. Literally without sleep. The man is a walking top trump, outclassing opponents in every category and beefing up England's hand at the same time. He adds magic in the field with those bucket hands and fearless leaps, backbone to Root's captaincy, a third wheel to the bowling, either in an enforcer role or as a golden arm, and pizzazz to the batting. In the same way that for years afterwards, England teams used to dine out on Headingley 81, so they can now whisper Headingley 19 in the vicinity of a baggy green.
5-0, fuck off.
Michael Vaughan, he goes. Crucially, he's also a player that Australia fear.
Yeah.
The scars that he inflicted on them at Headingley 2 years ago will not have fully healed, and the sight of him walking out at Brisbane or wherever he manages to play his first test will send a few shivers up local spines.
Yeah. Averages 35 in Test cricket. Yeah. I can calm down.
If you watch Old Trafford.
So let's go through the team.
The only thing the Aussies feared about Headingley was Langer making them fucking watch it again.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw that.
And the sprinkler head on the deck, they got a Headingley. Weirdest place to put a sprinkler head.
Going to be great to see him, but fucking settle down. Jesus.
Hamid, Burns, Milan, Root, Pope, Stokes, Butler, Robertson, Leach, Broad, Anderson. 5-0, fuck off.
Hell of a player.
It's a terrible team.
Best all-rounder in the world. One of the best players in the world.
What a player.
But Jesus Christ. Now, the other one he goes, and I appreciate this.
Haven't slept, mate. So I found out.
They'd lined up the tweets. It was a coordinated announcement through the ECB because everyone else had their tweets ready to go. Even had journos getting onto me going, they're about to announce this. So they're fucking giddy over them.
I want to see what Iceland cricket's got to say about this.
And Joe Root tweeted, and I'm sure it's earned. He says, one of the greats as a cricketer and an even better bloke. Welcome back, my friend. And I just wanted to ask.
It's kind of thing you say when someone walks into the bar. Yeah, he's one of the greats and my best friend.
Why do great players always have to be even better blokes? Because, like, in my experience in grade cricket, it's not that way at all.
Other way around.
They're inversely proportionate.
Fucking
you know?
Shocking bloke. What a stick.
He's a great player and a fucking horrendous bloke.
Kevin Peterson.
Yeah. Ooh, okay. He played grade cricket. Anyway, I think it is brilliant that he's coming out, and it's good that they've got a player. We respect Stokes out here.
In terms of I just like being part of the meme, to be fair. And I just keep saying 5-0 now. It's just got to a point where it's just hyperbole and like only bad things can happen by me saying this. 5-0.
Absolutely.
But like in terms of what he does for the team when he'll bat at 6 and the bowling, fielding, okay, yeah.
Jack Leach gets a game now.
Jack Leach gets a game.
Because they got an extra quick now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they would have. I think they probably would have played Wokeson instead. Maybe, I don't know. But like you've said this in the past. Like he does knit the team together. He makes every single one of the players of the other 10 players are better now because he's in the team because the team makes more sense. It's still so hard to win a series away from home. England have won no games in 10 years here. I'm sleeping okay.
Yeah,
but it's great to see him.
He was coming off the World Cup over there at home, and Australia bossed them for most of the series, apart from getting drunk in the last game.
Yeah,
and
win the toss having a bowl.
I think Australia's going to be okay.
It's going to be okay.
Yeah, but it's going to be great to see him.
Now, we have set up the English viewpoint here as well. We spoke to VITHUSHAN and EHANTHARAJAH. Well, we haven't yet, but we're hoping to do that later today. And here he is right now, getting the perspective of Ben Stokes coming in to the England Ashes setup.
Okay, he's a sport feature writer for the Independent Sport and the Independent. He's on the Football Ramble, and he's here to talk about existential problems at Manchester United. No, he's here for the Stokes stuff and the Ashes. It's VITHUSHAN and EHANTHARAJAH. Vish, welcome back, brother.
Thank you for having me. I was going to say after so long, but that sounds like I'm putting you both on the spot. Like, why don't you call anymore? But I know you've been dealing with your stuff over there, so no, it's good to see you both.
Thanks, man. Okay, Vish, you're part of cricket's media establishment elite in England. Tell us how much advance notice you had of this Stokes announcement, and which did you feel more viscerally excited about, the Stokes announcement or the Ronaldo announcement?
I mean, hopefully it doesn't end up like the former. That's going well. I suppose in like very real terms, like half an hour. I think generally, like there was an embargoed release at 8:30 for 9 a.m. saying that it was happening. But as soon as he had that, he had this second operation that got rid of some scar tissue, which meant he was able to close his hand and grip a bat. I don't know. I might look into my hand and see if I've got scar tissue because it seems like it's turned. He's turned a page in terms of his recovery, and it's gone so quickly that there was talk, like idle talk at the time, that he would parachute in, and it's always parachuting in, isn't it?
Yeah,
yeah.
You can't just come. You got to parachute.
Yeah.
They love war over here. It's crazy. But there was talk that he would potentially be, in line for the between Adelaide and Melbourne, coming over and playing a part in those final 3 tests. I personally kind of thought maybe like that was the best case scenario. I didn't really think this was on the cards because I thought about match practice and things like that. But evidently he's had these chats and he's had these sessions up in Durham, chats rather with Silverwood and Joe Root, and yeah, he's kind of, I don't know, it seems like he's in a very, very good place. I mean, he was teasing like mad over the internet.
Oh yeah,
No, it's a wonderful thing to see.
Just edging us. Vish, I was going to ask you. I was going to, but I won't anymore. Joe Root, when he would have been speaking to Ben Stokes beforehand, but when he gets that message that like, yeah, I'm going to play, like, is Joe just thinking like sweet relief, like, okay, I've got, like, everyone else makes sense now in the team, everyone's a little bit better, I've got an all round, I've got another batter with me, like, is it sweet relief, or it's like, fucking, the boys are on here, we can win these Ashes all of a sudden? Which one of those binary options is it?
What did Joe think?
Look, I think he goes, your tweet yesterday summed it up, really, didn't it? Yeah, Stokes is playing 5-0. I don't think it's. I wrote something for this morning. I think it's coming out now. That, at best, it's probably the difference between 5-0 and 4-1, but probably 4-0. I don't know that anyone in that England team is thinking. Actually, well, to be fair, you talk to them and they say obviously they're thinking about winning because why would they come over? Yeah. But I don't think it's. From the outside at least, I don't think any of us think that it's going to be this, he's this great difference maker in that regard. But I think having him is better than not having him. And also he's got this infectious way about him that he makes particularly this group of England players believe. I think the way he captained that third string ODI side against Pakistan was quite a note to that. I think, you'll see it with some of your players out there. They come in and, so Stokes is 30 years old. There are people who come in at 23, 24, and Stokes is a hero of theirs because they've been watching him since they were, 14, 15. And that's, you really get that sense throughout English cricket, actually, not just people who are in touch with the international game. In terms of, Joe Root's part in this, Joe Root's been one of the few players, in fact, one of the only players, I think, who has been in touch with Stokes this whole time. I know that a few other players had messaged him and hadn't got back to him because he was properly trying to break away. The difference being that Stokes and Root are actually mates. This is, it's an interesting topic for you guys because I think, certainly from the media point of view, you always put across this sense that, like, they're all just like good mates, celebrate wins together. They always chat. But when push comes to shove, no, it's just one person.
Yeah.
Just one person I want to talk to.
Yeah. Vish, your mate Michael Vaughan was writing in the Telegraph about this, speculating. He's watching on YouTube, his head's in his hands. Sorry. Speculating about reasons for Stokes' return, and he wrote, I wonder whether his mind may have been made up by the comments Tim Payne made when there was still doubt over Root in England travelling to Australia at all. I know some of the England boys were not best pleased with those remarks, and it might just be that Payne prodded Ben over the line. He may live to regret it. Vish, is Vaughan right? Do you think Payne's comments on his Tasmanian SEN show called Jack and Paney was the deciding factor in Stokes' decision to play in the Ashes?
What is it called? Jack and Paney?
Yeah, Jack Rewalt goes.
Jack and Paney.
The Aussie rules player goes first, and then the Test captain goes second in the SEN show.
Right, okay. This is combining your two great loves, AFL and AFL over cricket.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So the question you're asking here is, do I think that Ben Stokes, who was tired of bubbles and has been massively, hammered down by the pandemic, thought, you know what, because of what Tim Payne said on his radio show, I'm going to go to Australia, one of the strictest places for COVID regulations.
That's what Vaughan suggested.
Yeah, right. I mean, I don't think it was that. I'd like to think it was. I mean, this is the season, isn't it? We've got to be. I know there's a T20 World Cup going on. No one really cares. This is Ashes time. This is Ashes real estate here, isn't it? We should be really like ramping it up now. Anytime you see Nathan Lyon, everyone goes a bit nuts. Payne as well, obviously. Who is Jimmy's R1, isn't he? Jimmy's the one that.
Yeah, probably.
Depends the circles you run in. You know, like I feel like I feel like Anderson in the last like couple of years or so has actually graduated a little bit in Australian respect. Like people are like, okay, he's taken fucking 10,000 wickets.
Yeah.
We've got to give him something. But you still will get pockets of people who are like, no, Australia, mate. You know what I mean? So
Not as good as McGrath.
right.
not as good as McGrath. Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, all I'm saying is he's coming home.
Yeah. Okay, can I ask you about Payne, Vish, as in Tim Payne, not just the phenomenon of Payne. Last week on Colo and Jeff's show, The Final Word, they read out some correspondence from a Kentucky guy called ED, and I thought this was really good that they did this. It's a good show, it should be listened to, but this guy ED was asking about the basis for perceived England like hatred of Payne, and part of asking the question included a note that during his live show in Manchester, James Anderson was leading a chant saying Tim Payne is a wanker. This would have been at the tail end of the show, which sounded exceptional, sounded like a really good show, and it sounded like a good chant as well. And I don't know if it's accurate, and it doesn't really matter. The question is still there. Like, can you speak for your nation on the question of feelings towards Tim Payne, you know, and whether they're fair or not?
I was thinking about this the other week because, just off the back of, you know, I think the comments about, Joe Rootside are definitely going to be here, and the way that people took that as some great affront when obviously Joe Root and co are going to be there. I think it comes from the Australians of the past who like really did a number on England, and I don't just mean on England teams. I mean obviously the English public. And there's a sense that, okay, Matthew Hayden and Ricky Ponting can talk to us like that, but you can't. And I think that's fundamentally where it comes from. Like, not just the, not just the stats, not just what they accomplished out in the middle, but also the sense of they could kick the shit out of us. I don't think that you can. And I think that's what I think Lyon comes into that as well. Actually, I think if Lyon was a foot taller and broader, I think people wouldn't have a problem with it. You know, Andrew Simons, people don't have a problem with Andrew Simons saying shit, but Nathan Lyon is test career-wise has certainly had a more accomplished career than Simons. But I think that's where the Payne thing comes from. I think I think it was massively over-egged actually that this thing about Australia went to Payne because they wanted to turn over a new leaf, they wanted to be nicer, they wanted to play a more holistic brand of cricket. I mean, I don't think that was true, and I don't think it needed to be true, but it's something that people ramp up to get themselves more annoyed whenever he says something, or like I find sometimes the way that his sledging behind the stumps is framed as if he's one of the great comedians of our time. I was going to say Dave Chappelle is probably a terrible example right now.
Has he been saying some trans stuff?
Yeah.
That'd be a
But that is the next
Tim
step,
Payne.
isn't it? Saying something outlandish like that. But that annoys me a little bit. But I can just not pay attention to it and I get on with my life. But I think fundamentally that's where the Payne thing comes from. It's that we've been bullied by harder blokes than you.
Yeah. Last one from me, Vish, just in the context of Stokes, and I want to test this out with you. Mark Wood is sort of he was injured in the World Cup again. I think it was mainly precautionary, but there's no way he plays all 5 tests. I don't know how often, if ever, he's ever played 3 tests in a row for England. Stokes' inclusion probably means that Broad and Anderson don't have to play every game. It means that Leach has more of a defined role because you've got the extra bowler with Stokes. I guess it means that Wokes probably won't play. He might not even bother coming, Wokes, which would be wise. I don't know what this means for Dom Sibley. But is that right, that Stokes' inclusion actually balances the rotation of bowlers as well?
Yeah, I'd say that's right. I'd say it also balances them within games as well. You wouldn't necessarily need to rely on them to fill in those overs between 50 and 70, 50 and 80, 60 and 80. So I do think that helps in particular. I also think really in somewhere like Australia, I think if Stokes is, he's still got to come back and improve his wider match fitness to a degree, and obviously he's incredibly fit, so that seems quite likely. I would say put him at 3. I really do believe that.
Really?
I think you've, I think he's. There was a stage before this year, obviously, where he was comfortably England's best batter. Technically, in terms of like the way he can shift up the gears and shift down. He was the one who was holding England together while Root was finding himself, and obviously Root in the form of his life at the moment. I think having Stokes at number 3 makes a lot more sense. You'd rather, I mean, obviously that means what do you do with Milan? That's not my problem. I think you just, I think that's the best way to go about it personally. So I wonder actually, now that I've said that, if he'll do much bowling at all beyond, I suppose, the fill-in overs, along with someone like if Leach plays, they want to try and tie down an end, which Leach is good at. Stokes is also very good at that. So creating that kind of pressure when the ball's not doing as much, I think that could be as well. But primarily, I would like to see him batting at number 3 personally. Yeah,
interesting. That'd be huge. Finally, Vish, do you think you're going to be preferring to cover England or Manchester United this English winter?
I don't know, because that wasn't much fun on Sunday, was it?
Well, for us, yeah.
Higgins, you're a Liverpool fan, aren't you?
Yeah. We can talk about
You
it.
must have felt a bit sorry for us, did you?
Really sorry. Really. I mean, it's my first 5-0 of the year.
Yeah, so like I don't know. I think a protracted 5-0 over a month. I would say that's worse, but that felt pretty awful on Sunday.
Yeah. What are you hearing? Is it Conte or what are we hearing? Because I always wanted to see what that sounded like to say.
Now we're on the football.
You're on the ground.
Yeah, what's the mood in the camp? I don't know. It's going a bit mad, isn't it? It's a bit like it feels like a bit when. Actually, maybe cricket's very different because when all those stories about Langer and sandwiches in pockets, and was coming out, that felt like the end, didn't it? And this is happening at the moment. I think Eric Bailly's got a cheese toastie in his back pocket.
Now I understand. You put it to me in cricket terms.
I understand now.
Yeah. So it feels like all the briefing started on Sunday evening, didn't it? So who knows? We might have some news by Wednesday. Yeah.
Nice. I like it. Okay. I feel like I'm doing football. Okay. All right, Vish. Thanks so much for joining us, mate. And you can catch VITHUSHAN and EHANTHARAJAH at the Independent Sport, and on the Football Ramble, and hopefully. We haven't even asked him yet if he's allowed, but if we see you out here, Vish, we'd love to have you on the show in person.
Oh, yeah, I'd love that. Yeah, I've got my exemption. I've got my visa. I'm just waiting for the flights, yeah.
Nice one. All right, until then.
Thank you very much to Vish. Okay, Pez. Now, in the meantime, there's a T20 World Cup going on. And I think for the most part, most of the big teams have played. New Zealand are playing their first game tonight. That's Tuesday night. It might be like Wednesday morning, 1 a.m. Australia time, I think it is. And thank you very much to everyone who watched our live stream on Saturday night between Australia and South Africa. I don't really remember anything that happened in that game or anything that we said on it, but it seemed like pretty good fun, and a few people enjoyed it. Of course, you can get the audio for all of our reaction shows we're doing after all the Australia, England, and India games at Patreon, if that's how you consume TGC, patreon.com/Great Cricket. You sign up for $5 or $10 US a month, and you get the audio exclusively, or you can just watch on YouTube, whatever you want to do. Okay, so just a bit of a catch-up in the last 7 days for this purpose here between the groups 1 and 2, and they've been filled out because the qualifying teams have been sorted. Scotland, Namibia, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka all come in. So Australia's group now is Australia, England, West Indies, South Africa, Bangladesh and Sri Lanka. And then on group 2 is India, Pakistan, New Zealand, Afghanistan, Scotland, Namibia. You look at the names there, group 1 is significantly harder than group 2. You would say. However, Australia got their shit together and they won their first game against South Africa it's hard to know what to make of that game just yet because it was a low scoring game, but I've seen Australia lose that game a lot in short form cricket especially. Great. And the main tanner himself got us home. Marcus Stoinis, the Greek Australian, as he was saying in the press conference after the game, had to try and stay calm, which was hard for him. due to his ethnicity. But yeah, bowling performance, awesome. Batting performance, some questions, but a very important win against South Africa, because I had this down. If Australia did not win this game, could not make
You did have it down.
playoffs, which is wrong and dumb, but that's just in my head.
It was very nearly a catastrophic loss, and then it turned out to be a low-scoring arm-wrestled win.
It would have really hurt to lose that game, right? In the manner of like chasing 118.
Definitely. I thought there was a lot of good about it, however. Flexible selections, which is important from a broader context around JL on the side. They went with 7-4 instead of 6-5, you know, six bats, 5 bowlers. Safety of Hazelwood in the side, great to see.
Oh, yeah, good gear.
Smith playing as an anchor on that wicket, very important. If the wickets are going to be shit and the run scoring is going to be low, then that's a really important role.
Yep.
Maxwell in the game big time with the ball, with the bat, and a top knot. Guys like top knots. This is the shit guys do.
Yep.
I like it and I welcome it. And Stoinis and Wade finish. I want to talk about that a bit, Higgins, because this is where we've struggled, middle to lower order. Now, 16 overs gone by in the chase, so we're 36 overs into the game.
Yeah.
Australia were 83 for 5, chasing 118.
Yeah.
So just to drill down on that, at the time, Australia was going at 5.1 and over, lost 5 wickets. They're going at less than a run a ball. Wade's faced 1 ball. Stoinis has faced 1 ball, I think, or 3. No, he's faced 3 balls. So Australia at that point, despite going at 5.1 and over, they need 36 off 24. Rabada's back in the attack.
Yep.
Nortje still has 1 to bowl. He's got 2 for 11 off 3 at that point.
Yeah.
Right? It's looking pretty fucking uphill, given that like everyone until that point has not been able to score at a run a ball.
Well, we were pretty drunk when we were doing this live stream, but I remember thinking at the time, like, Australia's well behind in the game and South Africa should probably win from there. And I actually saw Bavuma say, like, it was bad execution at the end, not winning that game. Because from there, in a low-scoring game where both teams struggled to go more than a run a ball, South Africa are well ahead in that game.
So no one struck at so nobody has struck at 150 all game.
Yep.
Strike rate. And that's what they needed to do.
Yeah.
So all game, no one's been able to achieve that. 2 blokes who face 1 ball and 3 balls, neither have set the world on fire at that place in the order.
No.
They've got Rabada and Nortje to get through. Yes, Pretorius has to bowl 2 on a shit deck. They're in big trouble, Australia there. And to finish it with 2 balls in the bank from there, including Stoinis at one point not even taking a single, so he could finish it off. Given they opted to go with the extra batter, I should say.
Cummins was in next.
Yeah. Well, as in, so they went, that's right. So they decided to go with 7 bats and they needed all 7.
Yeah.
I think that is a very, very good finish and good result on field and off
100%.
from that position.
100%.
Stoinis and Wade, hats off and pants off.
It was very nearly pants off, I got to tell you. And
People were watching.
We are coming from the Freedom Capital down here in Melbourne today. So that was actually our first Saturday out of lockdown. And we decided to spend it in a studio watching the cricket.
2 cool guys. One more thing, he goes, if I can. Or do you want to sort of add on? So,
no.
More importantly, I learned a term in the lead up to this game.
Yeah, same.
Via SEN or via our captain, Aaron Finch. And the term is a chop-out over.
Chop-out overs.
Never heard it in my life.
Me neither.
A lot of people in New South Wales and north of there, to my understanding, have never heard of this term.
Yeah.
The etymology of it is, the meaning is to give someone a hand. So I'm trying to find some more information about this. I went to Twitter.
Give someone a hand. That's what chop out means.
Apparently.
Okay.
And he said, Finch said, we've got a lot of confidence in Maxwell, Stoinis and Marsh to be able to bowl 4 overs as well as a chop out. I mean, you got to.
Is that circuit stuff?
The eyebrow raises.
Yeah, well.
You know, like what?
Yeah.
It's a bit of a neck snap, you know, like not so much a champing, but like,
no.
But it's so on Urban Dictionary. Thank you, Dan Bredick, for sending this to me. It's to take over some boring as batshit labour-intensive task to help a mate out and give him a break. And then Rudy Edsall on Twitter. Thank you, Rudy. He wrote, I worked with a Queenslander at a pub in London and asked him for a chop out with something once and got a very confused stare in response. And there's some interesting. So it's an AFL, Aussie rules, maybe Victorian thing.
Of course it is.
That's a funny language. You know the other thing they do down here in Victoria, and I'm not sure if it's an Aussie rule thing. Let us know if this happens in South Australia or WA. But they say like a batter went out,
Oh, that can.
They
get
don't
in the
say
bin.
got out. Oh, how do
That
you?
can get in the bin.
He went out.
Doesn't make any sense.
He went out hooking.
Yeah.
Where?
Where'd he go? Where'd he go?
Yeah.
do you mean
And
he
they
went
say
out?
like, how did you go out?
Yeah.
As in,
yeah,
how'd
yeah.
you get out?
Yeah.
How'd you go out?
How'd you go
What?
out?
Fucking where?
Oh, shoes and jeans. Circuit.
Those fucking English people listening to this going, what the fuck's this?
That
Anyway.
scares me more than Ben Stokes.
Yeah, that language.
This fucking dialect.
Yeah,
exactly.
it's a strange dialect down here.
Yeah.
Went out, go out,
Yeah.
chop out.
Chop out. I like the
Fucking
idea.
what?
I like the idea that it's performing menial, boring as batshit tasks
Yeah,
like
that's
the
right.
fucking middle overs of cricket. They are exactly
Yeah.
that. To be fair, boring. Like generate innings.
I just like sitting in the dressing rooms. Hey, Maxie, you'll do the chop out,
Yeah,
won't
chop
you?
out.
Who's got the chop out
It's
today?
fun to talk like that. It
Yeah,
really
yeah,
is.
you can't open your whole mouth.
Can't open your
saying it.
mouth. Yeah.
Yeah, you got the chop out. Maxie, you'll do the chop out.
Chewing porridge if you like. I chop out.
Yeah, you could be doing it at the same time.
Yeah.
Because that's the only amount of mouth you need to use.
Don't see a lot of porridge in dressing rooms these days.
These days.
Yeah. Not since the incident.
Anyway. On
Yeah.
the negative, he goes, Warner and Finch, just with the batting.
Still questions. Still questions, don't get me wrong. But not nearly as many questions as West Indies' woeful batting display when they got absolutely smoked by England. Adil Rashid sort of got the highlights with, fair to say, sensational figures of 4 for 2 off 2.2. Also noticed that in Afghanistan, Scotland, I noticed this, mate.
You noticed this, yeah.
That all 10 wickets were taken by spinners. Rashid Khan, 4 for 9. Mujibur Rahman, 5 for 20. And what's the other one? The other offie plays Muhammad Nabi. Yeah, he took 1 first. So all of them took 10 wickets, all spinners. So spinning
being a
decks.
semi-pro player, like as I imagine some of the Scots are. I should check that out. They could all be professionals, and apologies if they are.
Mate, they're getting paid huge dollars.
But I saw there was a piece the other day. I haven't actually clicked on it yet about a Scottish player who I think it was Yaz Runner in Wisting today, Yaz, but who like, it's like that classic one of doing the covers at at the club. Like he rolls the pitches and helps out at the club.
Chop out stuff. That.
Yeah, and he's fucking going. Poor bastard's got to face fucking Rashid Khan.
Yeah.
On Bunson's in the UAE.
Yeah.
I know I haven't opened my mouth to say Bunsen.
Good to get a game, to be fair. Good to get a game. So England's chased down, what was it? It was 50-something, 55. I haven't got it written down, something like that. West Indies' batting display was surreal. Like it was like
they just kept going for it.
They were like 8 for 40. I was like, we can get 200 in.
Keep shooting.
Keep shooting. Yeah,
I kind of appreciate it.
Yeah. Keep shooting till my arm falls off. It was a bit like that. Their next game is against the West Indies. Who's the next game against? I can't remember. But I know New Zealand's first game is against Pakistan. And Pakistan, well, they also absolutely smoked India by 10 wickets. This is the story. There just isn't enough. Oh, sorry, there isn't. There aren't enough Pakistan-India games every year. Like, that should be a series that should happen 5 times a year. Fuck me, the electricity. It's just...
Should get on to Jay Shah at the BCCI. Just let him know. We want a few more of these games.
It's the first time I've seen one. I should be more of this, I reckon.
Yeah, this looks pretty good.
Any reason why they don't play more? Or at all? Because we're starting to get like full crowds back into like other sporting leagues around the world, NBA, Premier League, that kind of gear. And this is the first time that I've seen in cricket in a long time where there's been full houses. I guess since the
was it a full house? I thought there was still seats.
Oh,
yeah. Felt like a full house.
Sorry, it felt like a full house.
Yeah.
I don't think they're actually allowed to have capacity, but the electricity of it, Jesus.
I was going to say, the fire of Pakistan, India, unrivaled shit.
Mate, and
it's
Pakistan,
great gear.
we said this the other day, Pakistan were just up for it. And like,
big time.
When they're up for it and they perform, like it's just an incredible team. Like Shaheen Shafridi buying left arm 6'6" wheels, cleaning up 3 of the top 3 Indian bats.
He was just energy.
Swinging it, pace, energy. Then Baba Azam and Rizwan just got it done. Rizwan's like having an amazing year with the bat when he's played. But my highlight of this game, Pez, was Virat Kohli's press conference afterwards when he was asked by a journalist if Rohit Sharma should be dropped from the T20 team. Rohit Sharma's going to captain after Virat Kohli finishes his tournament.
The guy said, should Kishan come in?
Yeah.
What do you think?
For Rohit Sharma.
Yeah. I like the response because I don't think the Indian guys get a whole bunch of controversial questions. He's like, he said that's brave.
Yeah.
Just check if that guy's alive.
Yeah. Yeah. Is that some Saudi Arabia stuff?
I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, was that a question to try and spark some controversy, or was that just a naive question?
I don't know.
No, you tell me, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were there. Yeah. Anyway, India lost the game by 10 wickets, and they should be favourites. So they're probably still favourites, but, Pakistan got a win.
He goes, I
For
like
the first time, 12-0 against India they were before this tournament.
Did you see the ICC post of Rizwan? So Mohammad Rizwan before the game.
Oh, he doing some shadow batting?
Side by side.
Yeah.
Just shadow batting with it, then matched that with the actual shots he was playing. Mm-hmm. Like that really jarred me as a grade cricketer because there's plenty of guys. I seem to recall that like Matthew Hayden used to do shit like this. I'm not sure he played shots, but he walked out to bat and he'd like you barefoot and he'd just crouch at the crease or whatever and just look down the crease. But he was the one that to me seemed to spark that idea of like visualizing your shots.
Well,
I've seen a lot of cricketers like try and do that and never ever do they end up playing those shots.
No.
I've then also seen a lot of cricketers, and I've never understood this, when they get bowled or out, then practice or rehearse a shot.
Yeah.
Why? I mean, it's not like everything you do in cricket like has to have a demonstrable practical purpose, but it is particularly stupid to be dismissed and immediately commence practice.
But cricket mostly is practice because you hardly ever get to play. So,
yeah.
But what about... I don't know if
and then
got-
obviously the Haydos effect for Pakistan.
fuck, talk about
We said on
safety.
the other show that we do, Pakistan, and we ridiculed it, but through hiring, Vern Philander and Matthew Hayden, they've invested in chest, and it looks like it's paying off.
Yeah. The Philander one was more interesting because Philander's just got a good record against Australia, and Australia's got good records in World Cups, so Philander, therefore, is the best choice.
I've never associated Pakistan with chest.
Never.
Like Inzamam ul Haq, I mean, it's a chest of sorts.
Shah Bakhtar's got a bit about him.
Yeah, but you wouldn't say it's a chest. You'd just say it's wheels, like it's anger and wheels. Like Waqar and
would say
Wasim,
that.
big guy. Wasim Akram, I've seen him in the airport. Massive unit, but it's not a chest.
Who?
Wasim Akram?
Wasim Akram.
Yeah.
yeah.
A left armour for Pakistan.
Oh, yeah.
He swung it a bit.
Oh, yeah. He did swing it a bit, yeah. How'd they do that? Don't know. Yeah. Just good wrist position.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. More bowlers should try that.
You think Imran Khan was chest?
He have to be.
Oh, yeah, it's kind of like Imran Khan.
You can't tell me
he's
Imran
he's
Khan's not
presidential. I mean, he actually is
chest.
the prime minister, but
Yes, he actually is.
Yeah, literally. It's not a figure of speech. Like, I mean, he
You
is.
don't go up against a Taliban without a chest. I've been saying that for quite a while now.
Does he go up against the Taliban?
Well, he's not going up against them so much.
Yeah, let us know in the comments.
God, please don't. Fucking hell, more jobs going to moderate shit.
I just on Imran Khan since we're here. Like,
Yeah,
I
except for
like
the
this
neighbourhood.
idea. Imran Khan has done everything in cricket. Like
Talk about chop out.
Exactly, that's what I mean. I mean, he's like that. Talk about Rudyard Kipling, like walk with kings, not lose the common touch.
Nice.
He's a Pakistani prime minister who used to fucking
Leave games
leave grade cricket
Grade cricket.
for birds.
Yes.
But like, not to be confused with Shah Bakhtar turning up to a game with the dirty bird.
With the dirty bird, yeah. KFC.
To be clear.
That's be very clear about
very
that.
clear. And women on both arms.
Yeah, apparently, yeah.
Apparently. That was Niall O'Brien told us that story.
That was Niall O'Brien.
I'm saying Imran Khan, he would no doubt have a chest, but he isn't a chest. Do you know what I mean? It's like Imran, like you wouldn't say, because he's got too many other things going for him. You wouldn't say, oh, gee, Imran Khan is just
He's
chest.
He's, yeah.
There's something, it's almost like
He's also salad.
he's chest.
Imran Khan
he's-
to me is salad.
He's also charm, like, which is not a thing, but like he's the whole package.
What the fuck is this show?
It's more important than this other fucking Stoner's wage shit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, actually,
Who's got to bat 7?
Yeah, oh, they've got the matchup right there, and fuck off. Someone else can do that and do it well.
And do it,
Imran Khan,
Yeah.
is he chest or
Yeah.
has a chest?
Exactly. Exactly. Who's Wasim Akram? Which one was that?
Anyway, well done, Pakistan.
Yeah, well done. Well done. I'm probably your last win of the tournament. Oh, they're going to win the whole thing. Who knows? Okay.
Another one in there.
Yeah. I was sitting on the fence there. Other things that have happened so far in the World Cup. Sri Lanka, Bangladesh plays last night. Got a little bit spicy there. Sri Lanka won that game against Bangladesh, which bodes well for Australia, who obviously got beaten 4-1 against Bangladesh. Not with our best team, and sort of spinning decks. But Kamara and Das for Bangladesh, they got fined. Kamara got Das out, and then he just got right in his grill and just stood in front of him, just had a little chat. He got fined 25% of his match fee, which, given the state of Sri Lankan cricket contracts, is not something you really want to do. And then, New Zealand play their first game tonight. It's 1 a.m. against Pakistan. So there's that. Are you enjoying the World Cup so far, Pez? It's nice to have cricket with context again.
It actually, and it's the first time, which says more about my own connection to like T20 World Cups, but I feel like I'm watching a World Cup. It's got World Cup like tournament play vibe to it.
Yeah.
There's a bit of a feel to it, trying to work out, like even little things like Australia ends up landing Bangladesh and Sri Lanka. And it's like, okay, so that's a inverted commas group of death. And it's like, okay, so is that bad because both of those teams could beat Australia? But by the same token, it actually kind of means that there's less emphasis on each game because damage can be done in other games. And all of a sudden, I'm a nerd kid and I'm in year 9 again.
That's right.
And,
That's right. So Australia play against Sri Lanka is their next game, and that's on Friday morning. I think it is at 1 a.m. And then they play against England on Sunday morning. I think that's at 1 a.m. Australia time as well. Yeah. So those are the 2 games before we will speak again on this podcast. But, of course, we're doing our daily shows. You can find them on YouTube and Patreon. You know how to find that.
Do you notice with this World Cup, he goes like, no one wants to make a fearless prediction about what's going to happen because that's the nature of like T20 cricket and tournament play on different grounds. The West Indies can dust us 4-1. Sri Lanka can dust us 4-1.
Yeah.
And then the West Indies get rolled for 55.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden they're shit.
Yeah.
We're 37 overs in thinking, fuck, JL's in big trouble here.
Yeah.
Stoinis has got to bail him out.
Yeah.
Doing something no one else has done all game. Bails him out. All of a sudden Australia's a gritty, resilient team. Sri Lanka knock over Bangladesh. Fucking Shakib Al Hassan's kicking stumps over again. They're a basket case. Like, it's just the last thing that happened is the thing that will happen forever.
Yep.
So by the time we chat next week, there could be effigies for Australia. Like, who knows? Yeah. So anyway, I think Australia will probably make it last 4-0.
5-0. Okay, Pez. Let's talk about other things in the Ashes from an Australian perspective. Anyway, Will Bukowski. We spoke about this last week about another concussion for Will, but it turns out it doesn't seem to be that bad because he's going to play these games against New South Wales in the Sheffield Shield. How it's worked out, I think we've said in the past that I think Victoria and New South Wales play against each other about 15 times in a row.
He's not gone to Sydney. He's
going to play in the MCG.
Play down here.
He's going to play the MCG here, but he is going to play.
Yep.
And also Tim Payne is also aiming for a return for Tasmania as well before that first test, mate. The first test is 6 weeks away. 6 weeks away yesterday.
That's a long time.
Yeah. So,
a lot of cricket between now and then.
A lot of chat as well.
A lot of chat.
Much chat out there?
Yeah.
Heaps of it. Any of it good?
Not really. Wouldn't have thought so.
But it's scary to think about it. Anything else to add there about the Ashes?
Oh, no. Thank you to everyone who submitted further views for the Visceral Minute as well. Yep. There was a lot. A lot of contributions this week.
Like feeling the tension in the air.
We're going to include 4 today. We're going to start with 2 and then just 2 at the back end. So we've got 2 English blokes to kick off, I think from various parts of the nation there, from the country.
Well, let's find out.
Let's find out. We'll go first here. So can't remember this coach's name, but here we go.
You bunch of fucking wet cunts. Stokesy on the plane. You lot are fucking quaking already. Didn't make it last time because he beat the shit out of someone. Wasn't going to make it this time because of a sore finger, but definitely finger. You lot are done. Fucking 4-1. Up the England boys. And while we're at it, you lot fucking going on about Banter Kings England. You literally picked Matthew Wade because he says nice Gary. Thought that was funny. You lot can shut the fuck up.
And this is James.
Good energy.
This is James.
I hope it makes you happy. I hope it heals the pain of the past 18 months on your miserable island. 5-0. We don't even need a coach. We could do it with just 10 blokes. On it goes. The endless confidence in your assured victory. But let me tell you a secret. You'll never win. Even if it's 5-0, you'll still lose. Let me pull back the curtain here, lads, and drop some truths. Cricket's all you have, and it fucking shows. You know it too, that flat decks and big chests is the only remote thing of interest on that vile little desert where you live. You might think you're daddy, but you're not daddy. You're the cum on the tissue that daddy chucked onto the bottom of the earth and forgot about. You could spend the rest of my life beating us 5-0, and you still wouldn't win, because apart from cricket, we're better than you in every way. We have culture. We have history. What do you got? Decent cappuccino? Nick Cave fucking walked out for a pack of cigarettes because he's the only one of you lot with taste. You might be better than us at cricket, but you still need daddy's hand to build some nuclear stuff, don't ya? You know who can build nuclear stuff without a holding hand from daddy? North Korea. It's pathetic how little you've achieved in 100 years. So enjoy it. Enjoy calling us stupid little posh boys and getting the thick bogans to chuck balls at our heads for a month. Because when it's over, we'll go back to our table at the UN and you'll go back to being nothing. And you know it too.
I mean,
is that Jonathan Agnew?
Yeah, a lot of. Firstly, I want to kill that cunt, but also, I thought that was really, it's good because it's true. That's a true perspective.
Good energy.
I thought just the final punchline of like, and we'll go back to our, and I was like, I thought, what's he going to say? He's our table at the UN. Okay. No, you got us there.
Yeah.
Table at the UN. All right.
Kill
Everything
for
else
the
is
table.
good. I'd kill for a seat. No,
Yeah.
that's why I'm saying
Seat
that.
at the table.
Yeah.
Fuck.
You know what? That is what they've got. They've got a seat at the table.
Are you looking
at the
forward to
UN.
COP26?
Yeah, mate.
We should start a festival called CHOP26.
What's the festival about?
Just meats and that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very.
It's actually one of those outdoor orgies where people are just dogging everywhere. They're just dogging everywhere, mate.
Just on
Dogging. It's a funny word.
yeah. Not to be confused with daggering.
Or
But
front
they could
dogging.
be doing that. That'd be on a side stage. Daggering.
Yeah, daggering
Joffa
stage.
Archer in English kit.
At
English
Chop
swords.
26.
At Chop 26.
It's Australia's area 50, whatever.
I'm
50, whatever.
I'm looking forward to COP26. I hope they can get some shit done.
Yeah.
I'm not looking forward to the onslaught of media that will be accurately reporting about Australia's poor showing.
Oh, well, mate, we saw that in 2050.
I think if the PM put a slide deck out today, it didn't say anything. Anyway,
Yeah,
yeah,
nice.
it's good stuff.
Nice, Gary.
We actually got an AskTGC, which we'll read out another day recently. I don't know if you saw this.
No.
But it was from somebody who went to university with Scott Morrison.
I did see that, actually,
Yeah.
yeah. I did see that.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Not for the woke stuff, me.
Let's get into some domestic cricket, Pez. Super quickly, the Marsh Cup. Western Australia, South Australia. Shaun Marsh hits 80 off 63 to beat South Australia in Perth. He's just still going to score runs at domestic level for fun.
I heard the
player.
South Australian guys got in trouble for going to the Crybaby bar afterwards and dancing too much or too closely to each other, which was contravening our fucking COVID guidelines.
What the fuck is the Crybaby bar? It's a bar in Perth, right?
I thought it was in Adelaide.
Oh, this game was in Adelaide?
I don't know. You just said South Australia, and I was like, well, here's something that happened. The South Australian guys got in trouble by the police for dancing too close in some kind of footloose scenario.
Well, mate, Lloyd Pope's second leading wicket taker in the Sheffield Shield, so you got to factor that in.
But Alex Carey wasn't there.
No, he wouldn't be.
No.
He
He's a
wouldn't be.
very sensible boy,
He's
Alex Carey.
very
isn't he?
sensible. He's also a new father.
Yeah. Oh, fuck, he's going to be a good dad.
He's going to be a fucking great dad.
Isn't he? What a safe pair of mitts that is, fatherly speaking. But also he's got good gloves too.
Let's talk about the WBBL. A bit of a tournament catch-up.
That's the Marsh Cup done.
Exactly. 5 teams are on 5 points in WBBL. The Brisbane Heat are in front on net run rate. The first thing I want to say is Georgia Wareham, a Wolfie, ruptured her ACL again against the Strikers, that was. But she may still be a chance to play the World Cup. But have you seen the footage of that? She's feeling like
I saw
she's feeling
it
like
once.
deep
Mate, I
point,
don't
and
do
it's like,
injuries.
Nah,
I can't watch it. I saw it very quickly and turned away. I can't do it.
I'm fucked in the head, so I sorted out and I watched it. It's no, you can't see anything. It's not graphic or anything, but she's like running towards the ball, and then I think there's a bit of change of direction, and his knee just explodes. So no good.
When you go down like that and there hasn't been like trauma or impact,
exactly.
See you later.
Yeah.
I hate watching that stuff.
Yeah.
Which isn't to be confused with hate watching.
Hate watching it. Yeah. I hate watching it.
Yeah.
Darcy Brown, 6th player to get a hat-trick in the WBBL. And Sophie Devine with her 3rd WBBL ton playing for the Scorchers. Mate, you're looking at the teams this year because of how many Indian players are playing now? Is it 6 or 8?
Yeah, I thought it's 6.
6 Indian players are playing now. Like 6 first-team Indian players playing the BBL. You've obviously got Sophie Devine, Kiwi, great, and all the Australian players. The tournament's super strong, and it's like, I think you said this last week nicely in that it's becoming a great. It's more than a signifier. I was going to say a signifier that the summer's starting. Like the summer starts with the WBBL and the women's internationals as well. I think it's a really nice way to start the summer proper, especially like in a big series when Ben Stokes is coming in the Ashes and all that. It's good.
Who do you like? Like Scorchers with Sophie Devine and Beth Mooney in the same side.
Yeah.
I think Sophie Devine's the number 1 ranked T20 player in the world.
I think that's right, yeah.
And Beth Mooney would be the best bat in the world at the moment. You'd imagine it'd be hard to go past. And the Sixers have all the names, but they're looking creaky.
Yeah, there's happened the last couple of years with Healy, Elise Perry, and now Shafali Verma all playing for the Sixers.
It's unsafe. I just want to see. This is old school shit, but I want to see Perry and Healy scoring runs. I feel safe. I'm from Sydney.
But do we need new names?
Yeah.
Like Darcy Brown getting a hat trick. That's like she's a new
definitely.
name. Talia McGrath playing for the Strikers.
On Talia McGrath, we're going to try and we tried to get her on the show this week, but I literally asked for Talia McGrath, who was open to doing it, but it was on a day off that they have. So it'll be good to speak to Talia McGrath. But yeah, other than that, I think Scorchy's looking good with the
Scorchy's ball?
Yeah, Scorchy's ball.
Pez, just before we head to, well, we're going to interview Steve Smith, aren't we? But the two new IPL franchises have been announced. Ahmedabad and Lucknow are the two teams that are going to be in the IPL next season. The RPSG Group and CVC Capital Partners, my favourite capital partnership. Partners. They bid over $1.6 billion to bag the two new teams.
Lucknow got 940 million US, and Ahmedabad got 750 million. So already an offering there. But
yeah, Ahmedabad's got a new stadium though, don't they? They got
132,000 seats.
Fucking hell, sold out though. Can't get a seat anywhere.
I noted that this was called, he goes, a walk-in bidding event, and there was about 10 coats who came in, and what they did was
10 coats.
Probably.
Yeah, and John Coates was there as well.
Coates, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And Nick Coatesworth.
Yeah.
Dr. Nick Coatesworth.
The bids were enclosed in a sealed envelope, and then they were open after a lengthy technical evaluation process. But basically the idea is you just, you're one of the coats who's in a partnership or whatever, investor,
you lob up.
and you just go, I'll pay this.
Yeah.
Just put it in an envelope, seal it in an envelope.
Yep.
Like keys in the bowl. You have to decide this is what I want to bid, and hopefully I get it.
Yep.
And I just love the idea that we're talking about $1.6 billion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you just chuck it. He's like, oh, is this good?
Yeah.
Is this a good bid?
Yeah.
The Glazers from United, they only bid 750 US million. Not enough.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, so the Glazers who own Manchester, they also bid for a team.
Yeah.
And they didn't get it.
Yeah. So that's how we actually do sponsorships as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah. How much?
Send us to it in an envelope, and then we'll open it. And
it's actually a fucking nightmare
doing
doing. We've got to try and find a fax machine somewhere.
Exactly.
Trying to sign transfers through fax as well.
Just that 1.6 billion. He was like, oh, okay. What does that mean?
Yeah.
My brain switches off at that amount of money.
Mate,
it feels wrong.
Mate, that amount of money, I look at that and being like, Australia should be good for the next couple of years, I reckon. We'll sort that out. Strikers, a new franchise comes to the BBL.
I'll be telling my kid to grow up to dream to play for Ahmedabad or Lucknow.
Mate, 132,000 person stadium. What the fuck is that? That's too many people.
Nah, I think it's good. I want to see
bathroom's a nightmare.
Yeah.
It's just one bathroom there. Other side of the ground.
There'll be more noise and
maybe no more people. Yeah.
Modi Stadium.
It's Modi Stadium. Yeah. Modi Stadium. Okay, Pez. Steve Smith is but moments away before we need to thank our very dear friends Budgie Smuggler, and Christmas is around the corner, Pez. And if you want your custom designs, you got to get it in before November 11.
Exactly.
November 11 is a cut-off date
Day.
for your custom designs to arrive in time for Christmas.
Exactly.
Got a theme for me this week?
You can get it as a gift for your clubs, for holidays, for Hanukkah, etc. Theme this week. Well, I was thinking we always try and come up with a theme just to really spark the creative juices for those who are trying to get their custom designs, and no doubt they just hear what we say and then just go and do what we say.
That's right.
We've been talking today about unlikely comebacks in terms of Ben Stokes,
that's right,
etc.
That's right.
And you sort of tend to go, let's talk about great comebacks in Australian sport. That's boring. Yep. So I kept looking around the net, and I was writing great comebacks, and actually it starts to come up with kind of more mummy blogging.
Okay. Yeah.
And I saw one that said comebacks when someone calls you short.
Here we go.
So 20, and you got to understand looking at this website, it's just a lot of pictures of women with their hands up and stuff, and a lot of across at the top, I can click on relationship, etiquette and advice, celebration, workplace.
Okay. So
that's sort of site we're talking about, dating advices.
Yeah. Can you forward me that?
Yeah, of course. And I've got here 8 comebacks when someone calls you short.
Oh, now we're talking.
At school.
Oh, nice.
All right. So this is the first comeback.
Yeah.
Someone's called you short. Short people can wear heels or fix their problems with handy tools, but ugly is kind of a dead end. What do you plan to do about it? And it says, this is a good response to use when you feel like insulting your bully in return.
Cosmetic surgery. Simple.
The next comeback, he goes, someone's calling me short.
Yeah.
You're short.
You're short.
God only lets things grow until they're perfect. Some of us just take longer than others.
I'm imagining all of these. I'm batting, and then second slips having a go, and then I turn around and I say, God, it takes a while to go things up. Where'd your eyes go, mate?
Okay, say you're short again.
You're short.
I'm a little closer to hell and I won't hesitate to bring it out, so back off.
I mean, it's not a great comeback.
Writing,
yeah.
It's fucking,
I imagine like people,
me there.
imagine people like watching this confrontation. It's like, oh shit, hell's coming out.
Okay, just say you're short. One more. Say
You're short.
Sorry, could you speak up? I can't hear you from all the way down here. Next time you should bring a ladder so that I can hear your unnecessary insults.
Put that to me in grade terms. Fuck me.
There's a reason that giraffes aren't king of the jungle. Anyway, so you can get your custom. You can put some comebacks on your designs.
Yeah, put your comebacks,
right? Yeah. At budgiesmuggler.com. Free custom design using the code CHAMP. That's at budgiesmuggler.com. Get it in before November 11. Great people at Budgie Smuggler. Great business, doing extremely well. Give him your love.
Now, of course, with this interview, as they all are with this series, brought to you by T20 Stars. You would have noticed on our socials last week and on YouTube as well, we put up our bat review for the T20 Stars.
Haven't done the butt review yet.
Haven't done the butt review yet, which is coming up.
It's about salmon butt, actually.
It's a review of salmon butt. What were your favourite match-fixing moments? Spot fixing.
Yeah, put the review up. Nervous because the review included footage of me batting against Peter Hatziglu.
Yeah.
And we actually, for authenticity's sake, included every ball of that session.
Yeah, that's
right. It just turned out he only bowled 4 balls
He
to me.
only bowled 4 balls, yeah. Yeah, it took 3 hours though.
Playing some proactive shots in that, and that was fine. Then I had to go. I had to go home.
I read in the comments of that you were compared to Alistair Cook, Langer, Pajara, Rahane, and Salmon Butt.
Yeah.
So I think you escaped with it okay.
Yeah, it was.
But people were upset that you could play cricket.
Yeah, and then that in turn upset me.
Yeah,
and it should you too. Well, I mean,
leave me out of this.
People are calling for footage of you.
I do have footage of myself on my computer.
Seen it.
Yeah, nothing to do with cricket. It's just footage.
Yeah, I think people would like that footage too.
Rehearsing for a play.
Yeah,
as a mime.
You know, that could be the next bat review for T20 Stars.
What, I'm a mime?
Yeah, why not?
Face paint on.
Including Higgins mime footage.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that, I mean, people are like, you like, people thought that because we've played grade cricket, that we'd be really, really shit.
Yeah.
And we're shit.
Yeah. People are confusing village and grade cricket.
Yeah.
That is upsetting, actually.
Yeah. And insulting.
Yeah.
Which says more about our fragile egos.
Oh, mostly.
It's a whole
Mostly.
It's a whole thing.
Mostly.
Anyway, T20 Stars, what can we say? I mean, one new thing we can say is that Watto's on commentary.
Yeah.
Through the ICC.
And it's really good.
And it's good.
Shocking is really good. Anyway, the whole point of T20 Stars, you can go to their website, t20stars.com. You can check out the bat review we've done. It's on our socials, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. I don't think it's on Twitter. But you just go to the website and check it out. The gear is good. We review the bat. There's gloves, there's balls, there's bats. You can find it. It's all affordable cricket gear. That's the most important thing about T20 Stars. That's the whole premise of the idea of T20 Stars. Cutting out the middleman, making cricket bats especially affordable. And it's good gear. It's good gear. T20stars.com. Here he is. Here is the great man, friend of the main tanner, Steve Smith.
Okay, well, we're looking down the barrel at 7,500 test runs at 61, 27 tonnes. That's all I'm going to say. Okay. So it's always a pleasure to catch up with the world's best stick, who, it needs to be said, averages more in international test cricket than he does in Sydney grade cricket, which is otherwise known as Sydney Test Cricket. This is his second rodeo on the Grade Cricketer podcast, so I think we can call Steve Smith a friend of the show. He's only got a couple of minutes. He's already done the press, probably keen to get out of here. So let's get on to it. Smudge, g'day, and are you comfortable with being called a friend of the show?
You can call me a friend of the show for sure. How are you guys, all right?
Yeah. All right. Okay, Stokes. Now, you've just come from doing the press. Look, I understand you're going to be prepared for any question about Ben Stokes by saying, and quite rightly, that you're very happy that he's feeling well, that he's a world-class player, that you want to compete against the best. So everything is great. But I also know that you guys will probably have WhatsApp groups, etc. And I know you should never publish what the boys say on WhatsApps, but can you just give us a peek into the Australian reaction on WhatsApp at Stokes' inclusion? Because I know it wouldn't have been like, oh, great guy, but I mean, I know he's a great guy, but what's the WhatsApp reaction to Stokes coming back?
Well, I don't think anyone's said anything about it. So
even better. That's alpha.
Yeah, we've just seen obviously that he's coming out, and I think you said all the things before. It's good to have him out on the plane. He's had to deal with some mental health stuff, which has been, never nice for anyone. So credit to him for stepping away from the game and giving himself some time to get it right, and looking forward to coming up against a quality player this summer.
Well, you would, because you averaged 110 the last time you played against him.
Yeah.
That's it. So, hopefully you can smack him around again. It'd be nice.
Smudge, let's get to the tournament at hand. Before then, there's a World Cup going on. I'll just tell you what your schedule is next couple of weeks.
World Cup.
But Big Stoin got the boys home, got us home as well in many ways with that innings right at the end there. I mean, can you confirm that he did spend 8 hours the next day on a tanning bed?
Well, he's the main tanner. So there's a good chance that he was out there. I don't know. We travelled the next day. So maybe actually boys probably missed a day of sun, but we made up for it. We got out there yesterday and got some rays in.
Good.
Smudge, a lot of Aussies don't watch the IPL, just talking about Stoinis here, because the times are completely cooked, and so not many will have noticed that, Punter he overlooked you a fair few times for Delhi, preferring to play Nokia Rabada, Hetmeyer Stoinis, and, I think you're probably the best stick in the world. How do you manage being on the periphery of a team like that when you're the best stick, and how important is it to you to be one of the best T20 sticks in world cricket?
Yeah, no, it's never easy when you're sitting on the pine. You always want to be out playing, but I thought our balance of our team was pretty good for the roles that guys were given. So, it was no real stress from me. I was pretty chilled out, just getting my rays in and doing what I needed to do. So, it was for me, I want to try and be the best I can in all formats, and I know my role here with the Australian team, how to play and how to have partnerships with people around me and what I need to do. So everyone's very clear in their roles, which is nice, and it's just about going out and doing the business.
I was going to ask you about that, Steve, because with Delhi this year, we saw you mostly batting 3, but then you opened against KKR, I think it was, wasn't it? You opened the batting there, but then you're batting 4 for Australia, and the more that Pez and I sort of absorb T20 cricket, all those roles from basically 1 to 6 are so different, much more different compared to especially Test cricket, but even ODI cricket. I mean, how much do you learn in the IPL batting 3 and then playing one game opening, as opposed to having a very different role batting 4 for Australia?
It's just about summing up the situation really, and my roles are different. Based on positions and how many wickets down we are, etc. And, I think any batter in the world wants to be batting in the top 3. It's obviously the best place to bat in T20 cricket or even one-day cricket. So everyone wants to be up there, but unfortunately everyone can't be. So finding ways to get in the team and play specific roles. And my role's obviously pretty clear at the moment. I think if we lose 2 wickets in the power play, I come in and just try and fix the game for a bit before and give ourselves, our strong boys, a chance to have a crack at the end. So, if we see the top order firing, I could be batting at number 7, for instance, and we just send in all the big boys. So I'm pretty chilled. It's just going out and batting and playing my job and my role, and getting the blokes that can smack boundaries at will on strike when I need to be, and limiting dot balls and all those kind of things.
You're talking about a bit of flexibility there in the Aussie side, and I think that's an interesting theme. So JL said recently he'd handed over more responsibility to the senior players and our coaches, and he says it's been great and actually liberating. And there's been no doubt that he's been under pressure for the best part of a year following just middling results from the side, and that's what's going to happen. Like following all that feedback to him, like what changes have you noticed in JL in the UAE?
It's been very chilled. It's kind of taken a bit of a back seat and just let the guys go out and do their thing, trusting our preparation. The other coaches have been able to come in and do what they wanted to do and fulfill their commitments. And it's been a really chilled environment the last few weeks, and it's been enjoyable. I think the guys have been great. We've all got together really well. Like I said earlier, everyone's really clear in their roles, and there's plenty of clarity there. So it's just about going out and performing well and doing our jobs. And hopefully, if we do that, we've got a really strong team or strong squad of 15. Even someone like Ashton Agar missing out the other day was a tough call. His last couple of years of T20 cricket have been exceptional. So we're comfortable. We've got a strong squad, and takes a real strong squad mentality to win a World Cup. And started well against South Africa, but just the start for us.
We noticed that the wickets are pretty grim in the UAE. We noticed that like in the back half of the IPL, the second phase of the IPL, and then I'm not sure if that wicket against South Africa was tacky or looked a bit third gradey. The wicket, just compare UAE to a third grade, but. I mean, the next 3 games you guys have got are all in Dubai. Does Australia want the wickets to be flat? Because I feel like Australia's going to win the games by out-bowling the opposition. I know like other countries like the West Indies, for instance, have this extreme power hitting from 1 to about 8 or 9. But Australia has like such a great bowling attack, especially pace bowling. Do you guys want the wickets to be flat, or maybe have a little bit more, South Africa third grade wicket in it?
Sutherland Oval, I reckon. Third grade. Look, it doesn't really bother us. We'll play on whatever surface. It's just about summing it up on the day and playing according to, summing up really quickly and then playing according to what the surface dictates. And generally, I think the team that does that the quickest and the best is the one that's going to come out on top. So, we're likely to see some scrappy games, that I'd call them, with some sort of lower scores where you need to, grind it out at certain times, and it can be tough to hit 6s and 4s. So you need to find sort of other ways to do it, and just sum it up on the spot. So I don't think the other day 120 or whatever it was indicative of the surface. It was probably more of like a 150 wicket, I reckon. But some good bowling, good fielding, and some poor batting at stages probably gave those scores. But I think there's certainly going to be some scrappy games. There's no doubt.
Another really important one from me here, Smudge. So you're like a shadow batting savant. You sometimes dress up in your whites to do it. Zorba's a hemp guy from Byron Bay now with a provocatively rude mullet. Maxi is wearing a unnecessary top knot in that there's like such little hair going through the knot like a troll doll. But there's no practical need for that to go through the knot other than the interplay between psychology and aesthetics. Yeah. He just wants it to look good. My point is that there's lots of behavioural quirks in the Aussie side that wouldn't have been tolerated, like in past iterations of the Aussie team. And I want to know, has there ever been a more welcoming time to be a rare, loose unit in Australian cricket? Does openness to rarity help or hinder the team's cricket? And what's your position on blokes being rare?
Yeah, well, like you said at the start, I do my fair share of rare things. So I think there is an openness to it, yeah. And I think some of the guys are actually just trying to be as strange as they can be. So yeah, it's very well accepted here.
Yeah, that's important. Now, obviously the Ashes are around the corner, and if you are in fact selected for the Ashes, Steve, if selected, haven't seen the squads yet, and Marnus as well. I mean, how much is Marnus texting you in the bubble? Are you missing each other? Is it every day, every couple of days checking in? What is it?
He sends me a message every now and again. I think he tried to FaceTime me yesterday. I let that one go through to the keeper, so I haven't heard back yet. But no, he's on the phone all the time, just seeing what's going on with Queensland and the way they're playing and talking about us here. So no, it'd be good to get back around in throughout the summer.
Just one more from me, Smithy, before we let you go. I mean, what did you make of that India-Pakistan game? I mean, it seems like anyone can win this tournament at the moment. It's so open, but like I don't think anyone saw Pakistan winning by 10 wickets against India. I mean, bloody hell, especially like Shaheen Shah Afredi, 6'6", bending it round corners, bowling quick. That looks pretty good.
Yeah, no, they played. They're a dangerous side, Pakistan, and there's so many dangerous sides. I think anyone can win on any given day if someone comes and has a day out. So it was a pretty good start by Pakistan. I thought Babar Azam and Rizwan batted exceptionally well, and then obviously Pakistan's bowling unit were great as well, particularly like you said, Afridi up top swinging the ball. So tough side, dangerous side, and there's plenty of those in this tournament, that's for sure.
Steve Smith, thanks so much for your time. You've got other things to do today, like FaceTime Marnus and become the secondary Tanner. So go let you catch those rays. All the best. Salad's looking good too. All the best. The best for the remainder of the tournament, mate. Thank you for joining us for a second time.
Cool, guys. Have a good one.
Thank you very much to Smudger.
We hope.
Manscaped, Pez. Manscaped. Now, if I could read you an email that we got during the week, Pez, to thank Manscaped. Ricky wrote in. He wrote an email, said, "Daddy's pubes." I think this was following up the Father's Day review that we were talking about. Not review, but we were previewing Father's Day with Manscaped. Ricky said, "Dear sirs, I listened to a recent podcast where you advertised Manscaped as a gift for your dad on Australian Father's Day, discussing your dad's pubes in the process. With Manscaped being being the best product for the below the belt grooming and your hairy dad shaving his pubes, should Manscaped create an above the belt grooming solution for your dad's stomach, chest and back hair? After all, it would be weirder if the next time you see your hairy dad naked, that he would be bald below the waist and like a woolly mammoth above the waist. Yours in pubes, Ricky."
Well, I think the practical answer to that, he goes, is that you can use Manscaped for those purposes if you so wish.
Use it wherever you want.
Yeah.
Use it on your head if you want.
Yeah. I would advise, again, just for hygiene purposes, using the same lawnmower 4.0 on your penis as your head. I draw the line there. But if you so wish, you can. That's the versatility of Manscaped.
Yeah. The way you just said penis was very funny to me. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I'm 7 years old. I draw the line there.
But you can... see, the thing
you can draw
is,
lines if you want.
I think clippering your chest hair is not... You're going to get quite itchy.
It depends how thick you're getting, I mean.
Yeah. How do you go for chest hair?
Not so good. Not so good.
I'm big. I got a lot.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm Cameron Smith.
I'm not very hairy. I'm not a very hairy person.
Yeah.
Legs, sure. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, hair all over there.
Oh, for days.
All over that bad boy.
Great coverage.
Yeah. That's what you want. You got a good salad and you don't have much hair elsewhere. And I'm the reverse.
I'm getting a haircut in 2 days.
That's
First
nice.
one in months.
It's nice.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
Good.
Just a little tidy up.
Yeah, of course. People like that in the comments as well.
Do I have to wear a mask when I get a haircut? What do you reckon? What's the etiquette? I played golf the other day for the first time in months. Went down to the range, not to the range, to the course, and then I was like, I thought you still had to wear a mask, but no one on the course is wearing a mask.
Golfers wouldn't do that.
Yeah, but like you just like no one is around. Especially the way I was hitting him. What the fuck does that mean?
What? You on the fairway?
Was that good or bad?
I
I
don't.
don't.
On other holes or what?
Yeah.
I'd imagine if no one's around you, you're hitting them quite well.
No, I hit him really badly.
Really?
Like it wasn't funny. It was actually very frustrating. But did I enjoy it when I got back to the car? I was like, that was a good day out.
Was it?
Yeah. Yeah. It was actually a nice morning as well. Mate, it was just nice to actually just fucking get in my car and like just go outside of the parameters of Chapel
We've been
Street.
living in very strange times.
Really odd.
I've watched you practice your 3-foot putts.
Yeah.
In the house.
Yeah.
I know we're into some sort of jock areas now, possibly.
Yeah.
But it's true.
Yep.
And I've been impressed with the accuracy of those putts. I
Thanks.
mean, it's the same putt every time.
It is.
You'd
Little
be,
left to right.
You'd be concerned if it wasn't.
Yep.
But it did leave me thinking, I wonder how he's going to go with 3-footers given he's been doing ample practice.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how did you go with your
Well, I
3-foot putts?
messaged you afterwards and I said, like, you know that I've already missed all of them.
Yeah.
I 3-putted the first 4 holes, I think.
Right.
I was pretty calm about that, though.
Yes.
He was really composed about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's manscaped.com.
Yeah. What are we doing again?
I don't know.
Yeah, you can shave your stomach, chest, back, do what you want. You go to manscaped.com, you get your lawnmower 4.0 or whatever the fuck it is, and well, it's true. And you can and you sort out your pubes.
Well,
and
the
whatever
idea
else you want.
on that was that summer's here, that the world's opening up. You're going to be meeting people, and even if you've got a significant other, if you're a significant other and you want to give this to your partner, it's a great present.
Yep.
It genuinely is a great present.
Yep.
20% off. Use the code TJC for 20% off. That's a cracking deal. Manscaped.com.
And you get the crop mop and the ball mops and all that sort of shit.
Hashtag AskTGC. Of course, hashtag AskTGC Fridays is every Friday at patreon.com/Great Cricketer, amongst all the other stuff. Tom writes in, Dear Higo and Pez, after 15 years playing cricket for my local team, I am relocating to live where my dad grew up. I myself am a very average first and second team batsman who averages 21.24, over the last 10 years, and now have a real problem as to where to play my cricket after relocating. Do I join my dad's childhood club, the town's premier team, playing to a high standard where he was a first team stalwart for 20 years, averaging 54.36?
Wow.
Or do I find a smaller village club nearby and attempt to be the big fish, small pond I've always dreamed of? How long could my dad's name grant me a first team slot until they find me out to be the fraud that I am? Will my dad still avoid coming to the games even if I do play for the team that backs onto his house? Love the podcast, Tom. That's a great conundrum.
It is.
What about his dad averaging 54 for 20 years playing first team?
Yeah.
Who's your dad, Tom?
So he's relocating to live where his dad grew up. Just the way he phrases that makes me think that that's not where his dad lives anymore. Otherwise he would say, I'm relocating to live where my dad lives. Because he goes on to say that his house backs onto it. Is it back onto his childhood house?
Tell you what, it makes sense to me. Now, if I was a man of age and I'd averaged 54 at a home ground, I'm buying fucking property next to that.
And that's what he's done.
That, and that's what he's done. So that's what I think has happened.
Maybe when he says he's backed onto his house, maybe his dad owns the house as an investment property from all the runs he scored at local village level.
Who's getting $1 a run? A lot of money back then.
He says, I'm very average first and second team batsman, okay, who averages 30. 21.24. We all know 21.24 is 35 in Test cricket. Like if you in equivalent terms,
it's good.
Yeah, you finish with 21.24. You're going to be in and amongst the top run scorers for a year because everyone's shit at cricket and they have no concentration and they get out.
Yep.
Okay.
Once you get 20, job done.
Yeah.
I've had a good weekend.
His dad for 20 years averaged 54.36.
Yeah.
The question I want to know the answer to is, what does his dad want him to do? Does his dad want him to go there and be worse than him, and therefore does that actually buttress the legacy of his dad, or does he bring it down his dad's name? By being shit. Because he's not going to average 50. You can't be... People are always writing saying, like, I've done all this, I averaged 20. Can I go somewhere and achieve my dreams? Yeah. No, that's your level.
So let's say...
You can't transcend that.
Because is the clubhouse named after Tom's dad?
I'd say so. Let's presume
the clubhouse, let's say Tom's dad's name is Nathaniel.
Yeah. Nathaniel Maguire.
Nathaniel Maguire.
Yeah. Maguire Clubhouse.
The Nathaniel Maguire...
Clubhouse. Nathaniel J. Maguire.
the third. Esquire.
He's a landowner.
The Nathaniel J. Maguire the third Esquire Clubhouse. And if Tom goes there, are they going to think, oh, this is Nathaniel J. Maguire the third's Esquire's son? Yes. This is his boy.
And if he's still living there, where has he been? There's a story there.
But can Tom play so poorly that the legacy of the clubhouse, the ground, the ownership of the house next to the ground can be essentially burnt to the ground, metaphorically speaking.
He's built an empire there. His dad's built a shrine to himself. The clubhouse is named after him.
That's right.
Nathaniel J. Maguire III, Esquire. He's got some property off the back that he doesn't even live in.
No.
It's like, oh yeah, Nate lives there.
Yeah.
Nate owns that one.
Yeah.
A couple of the kids lodge there, like the young ones they've brought through from the country.
Yeah, and they bring an overseas in every year,
Overseas,
and
yeah.
they've already got accommodation sorted.
They're
for
staying
him.
at Nate's.
Staying at Nate's
Which
place.
one? He's got three. He's got three off the back there. You know, one of them's got. Is it the tennis court? And then Tom is a sort of a rapscallion. He's been living somewhere else. They've heard about him. I heard he had a boy.
Yeah,
heard he had a boy. And then the fucking
I heard he had a boy.
The prodigal son.
Yeah,
returns.
The prodigal son returns.
Turns out he's fucking terrible.
Yeah. He's not, but he's not terrible. He averages 21.
Yeah, but he's not because if the prodigal son returns, it's like fucking Simba's here.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
He's
Pride Rock.
Mufasa's son.
Yeah.
You know the next generation who can bring joy and glory to the club.
Yeah.
Turns out he's fucking very weak off his pads.
Very weak.
Hits across the line.
Yep.
Nicks off.
You can set him up. Couple away, one in.
Has a couple of beers afterwards. Good chat.
A good chat.
And he's got his dad's wit.
He does. That's what they say.
Yeah, but he's been running away his whole life.
He has. He's had a couple.
That's why he's in. And he wants to go and play at the club down the road.
Yeah, that's right. And he thought he went to the big city, didn't he, Tom? He went to the big city to try and find love, and he thought he found that person to bring back home to Pride Rock. But it just sort of fell apart.
I think he's got to go play at another club in the area.
Yeah.
Who then has a rivalry with his dad's club.
That's what I'm talking
Dad's
about.
awkward. He finally turns up to play a game at his dad's home ground, which is Maguire Reserve, and
yeah, that's right.
And he has a win. And then he ends up he ends up burning his dad's house down in the club.
Yeah, after
maybe
two
not
drinks.
burning it down, but he's had a few beers.
No, he
after
does.
the game.
He does because he's a pyro.
Yeah. Well,
Tom's a pyro.
They all have a few beers after the game together.
Yeah,
and there's a presentation.
Sort of cheersing, and there's like bits of drinks going to other people's drinks. This is in a post-COVID environment.
But when Tom actually cheeses, it just is a bit hard and a bit of the glass snaps.
Just sort of chips off. It's a little like crack. Which is actually metaphor for their relationship, their fractured relationship that they have.
Yeah. 2 hours later, you'll find Tom like throwing things at his dad's house that he owns.
Yeah.
Why don't you let me live here, Dad?
That's right.
Because Tom has to stay in his own house now. His dad didn't let him stay there.
That's right.
That's where the overseas is lodged.
Yeah. Yep, that's right. And that overseas name? R.M. Williams.
Graham Couch. Dear Higosto Rio and pescatarian lifestyle.
Nice.
I lived in India for a time and formed a cricket club with like-minded colonial tragics.
Did you, mate?
Nonce alert. Come on.
Decision
Graham.
pending.
Graham. I'm sorry, Graham. It's getting away.
Come on.
A big advantage in our formative years was access to the SS equipment factory in Meerut. Apologies. Meerut. Meerut, a satellite city outside of New Delhi. During a visit with our inaugural club Prez, a Texan cricket aficionado.
Nice.
And after picking up kit bag, lid, various paddage, keeping accoutrement, and boxes of rocks, we moved on to bats. It was a fantasy land for nuffies, especially when told some of the sticks were earmarked for stars of the day. A pollard bat came out, rejected, rig-based rejection. Soon after, an Uppal Turanga stick appeared, light on pickup, so you could slam it down fast. He had too many at the time to take any more, I was told. It even had his name written in Sharpie on the foot, as if there was any doubt an Indian equipment salesman would try to offload a piece of moderately expensive junk on an unsuspecting middle-aged wannabe. So, the next Saturday, the Viceroys, middle-aged hacks with a drinking problem, take the field against a local side, young and adept at clearing the front leg and depositing our offerings to cow corner with ease to debut the new kit. After rolling the local side for 310 in 20 overs, we responded appropriately. Old brand new everything was out first rock, much to the pleasure and ridicule of opposition and teammates alike. After several weeks of Groundhog Day, I finally deposited the Turanga bat around a tree, swearing to burn the fucking thing. More burning.
Yeah.
An English mate, of course, side-mouthed me to ask if he could have it. So it went. He never batted again before he left the country, taking bat with him to far-flung reaches. But he is still part of our club WhatsApp, where pictures of him playing with new clubs in new countries are legion. But I never hear if he got a few. My question is this bloke offering me from afar, digitally?
It's a digital offering.
I think of fingers there. By alluding to cricketing success where I failed with alleged test level kit. Given the level of shit I endured from my fellow viceroys over my epic and continued failures, I don't need sledging from Cairo, Doha, and Beijing CC thirds. Cheers, Crouchy.
Fucking great question, Crouchy.
It's rich. It's very rich.
Nice. I like the idea straight away that like Upal Taranga's bat comes out and there's already a story behind it. It's like, Upal's already got too many.
It's just too heavy for him.
Yeah. like there's all this like this intimate knowledge about Upal Taranga's stick habits.
Yeah.
Stick habits.
That was always the way when we were playing. There was like if you have a state player at your club or whatever, it's like, I just don't need it. You know what I mean? He's one I don't need.
Yeah.
It was just, and I always wondered, it'd be one of the greatest things to be able to utter as a state player. You might be a terrible state player, but you could just offload kit to people without any eye contact.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Just
the power of that.
The satisfaction of that.
Yeah.
Little fucking seagulls swooping into your kit that you don't need.
That's the value of your state contract. That's your
exactly,
value.
that's your value.
Right
you can't
there.
put a dollar figure on that. You can. It was about $35K for a rookie contract. But that's like flicking a fucking hot chip to a seagull. There you go. Yeah. Fucking that. It's not good for you. It's fucking third grade.
Gulls are here.
Exactly. Don't call me by my nickname. You
what
don't know
about
me.
like every pro player we speak to, when we ask them about kit, they're always like, they sort of roll their eyes like, a couple of clubbies knocking about just searching for free
they
kit.
love it.
It's like the most satisfying.
Mate, they should be very careful before they cast off grade cricket in their identity. I know that they do it for a reason, but they need grade cricket to have an identity.
Yeah.
You need someone beneath you to fucking shit on.
Exactly.
To stomp on.
Exactly.
Emotionally.
Yes.
Fucking club is after me, kit, fucking seagull, vultures, fuck off.
I remember, I was just telling you before, there was a time at Gordon where there were 4 state players at the club. And I remember like this being a very big phenomenon where like, there's a bit of kit knocking about all of a sudden. And then like if someone had, so Bo Casson was like, he played at Gordon like just before he got his game for Australia. And he was obviously doing really well and was like up and coming and stuff. And like the idea that like you could use Bo Casson's bat, and it was just it's obviously a top of the line stick, really good bat. But like there's certain intangible qualities to the stick all of a sudden that it was like test players were given like the secret bats that weren't accessible at the back,
What's in those bats?
You half open a book and like a corridor would swift round and like you would then be going to like the professional realm where they would actually give you the really good stuff, like the test grade protection of your thigh pads in case you need that when you're facing 115k an hour stuff in 4th grade, and I need the test quality stuff. And like holding a professional player's stick or the gloves, a bit of extra padding. No, it's all exactly the same stuff. But there was intangible qualities, mysterious, magical qualities given to their kit because it was professional.
Yes. Do you have experience of using any of that state kit? State issued kit?
State issued kit? No.
I ended up with John Moss's bat. One of John Moss's bats.
Oh, that would have felt good.
Yeah, but it was
what a player he was.
He was a fucking excellent player.
Great player, and a grade player.
We played a game against Gordon once. I think I might have said this before, and I think I opened the batting and he batted 3, and Matthew Nicholson was bowling, and mate, I couldn't fucking see it, and he was just pulling him, and I was you stand at the other end and you're like, oh my God.
Different game.
How fucking good is this guy?
Yeah.
And he was a good Shield player.
He was a good Shield. Didn't he score 1,000 runs for Victoria one year?
I noticed he was in Darren Berry's Victorian team of all time or whatever.
That,
Anyway,
he was a sensational.
He was, but anyway,
and he bowled as well.
He was a great bowler as well, and
he's a lovely guy,
fantastic guy. And his dad's a professional soccer coach, and he was a very, very good soccer player. In the fucking warm ups, John Moss was unbelievable.
As well.
Me?
No, I played against John Moss in
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
You would have probably knocked him over, would you?
Oh, yeah. I turned him and just...
just roll him. He's got to roll him.
I was running the back of him.
Yeah.
Did I just do the thing we were talking about at the very beginning of this show where we just said that he's such a he's an even better bloke?
Yeah, exactly.
I just did the exact same thing we're talking about.
But I got one of his bats. I don't know how I ended up with it, and it was just the wrong bat for me in all forms. I mean, he's a thick boy, John Moss. Thick enough. It was a heavy bat. It had a low middle. I'm fucking weak. You are strong. I am weak. I am shit. I have a very light bat because I have no muscles.
Yeah.
And I just used it, and sometimes it hit the middle and it was good.
Yeah.
And most of the time it felt bad and unwieldy, and I was shit.
Yeah.
But it was, it was Mossy's bat.
Yeah.
What
Yeah,
It's
what?
fucking dumb.
Yeah.
So dumb.
How many did you get? None. Didn't use
never
it.
did anything. I don't. It was hard to bat with.
Yeah. How'd you go against facing Nicholson? Because I obviously never.
He got me out in like fucking
Just
4 balls.
the height of it. Like Nicholson he played one test, but he was an exceptional shield bowler.
I had a problem. Like I was a fraud. Firstly, I just worked my way up to there.
Well, you'd be the only cricketer who's ever been a fraud.
I had this thing. I realised, we're going to be indulgent about cricket for a second. We played this one game against Parramatta after the Christmas holidays, and I had spent the time with my then girlfriend, now wife, doing the Great Ocean Road, and I listened to all of this cricket commentary. It was Kerry O'Keefe and Jim Maxwell. I think Australia's playing India, so it was 2008. It was the Monkey Gate thing.
Oh yeah,
and I realised how much I loved commentary, like listening to the commentary of the cricket. And I turned up at this game, and I remember thinking, I'm more looking forward to watching this game than playing in it. I mean, that was an anxiety issue that I had.
It's a separate thing.
So I realised then, I was like, I think I like the stories of cricket more than playing.
Yeah.
Maybe better at that than playing.
Yeah.
But, and I had this thing with all that in mind. Whenever I played against a player that
was good,
I would be, as they would run into bowl, I would be thinking, this is what they look like on TV. But I couldn't shake it from my head.
Yeah.
I remember thinking that, anyway, I don't want to list all, I've done enough fucking name dropping, but I was like, this exchange is false.
Yeah, right.
And I'm watching this, I'm participating in this like I'm a viewer on TV because that's what I am. I'm a viewer.
Yeah.
I love playing and tried my best and everything. But
see, I never felt that.
Yeah. I remember when Nicholson was bowling, I was like, oh, I know that man. I know those mannerisms. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's like, he's about to fucking ping a missile at you. You can barely see it.
Yeah.
Anyway, you nicked me off.
Got to get forward to it.
Yeah, that's all you got to do. Just got to get, mate. Those guys bowl. In all seriousness, it gives you a new appreciation of anybody getting forward to anything.
Exactly.
But they do even international players or first class players who have a natural front foot press. You face that and you go, how do you move your body toward that thing?
Because you're going to move your head towards it. That's the thing. That's the scariest bit. Yeah.
You've got to go and meet it. You're like, oh, I want to meet you. I want to shake your hand.
And the length, because when you get in lower form cricket, when you get forward to something, you really bend your front knee towards it. Like you're really getting your head as close to the ball as possible. Whereas the length that those guys bowl, even when you're going forward, it's still fucking splicing you.
Yeah.
You know?
And you got to keep going.
Yeah.
You got when you watch a player hit the ball down the ground off any quick bowler who's on TV, whether you think they're quick or not.
Yeah.
If the side on shot is what always shows, they are really leaning their body into it. You can barely hit the ball down the ground unless you've moved your body towards it.
Just speaking about Ashes, or just to finish the show with Ashes things, it's especially in Adelaide where the test players, the dressing room is side on. Imagine that series where Johnson was just buying whatever the fuck that was. Just looking at that coming in next, being like, these guys are test players and they're missing the ball by, 15, 20 centimetres. That's what kind of pace is that?
Yeah. Nicholson was pretty quick.
Yeah, he was. He was.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks to Steve Smith. Thank you very much to Vish for joining us all over there in the UK. Pez, thanks. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the chat.
Yeah, no, thank you.
See you guys on Patreon. The World Cup is on. It's all happening here in TGC. We'll see you guys right here next week. Cheers.